Hi, I'm Barbara Evers, and I've been teaching Excel for over 25 years.
I'm Kayla Chase, and I'm here to learn about Excel. So, Barbara, I have some information from an Excel file and from an Access file. Is there a way that I can pull that information together in Excel?
Okay, so you want to pull it together to create reports and things along those lines?
Yes.
Okay, yes, there is. There is an add-in in Excel. So when you get Excel, this might not be loaded. In fact, it won't be unless somebody has opted to load it for you. So I'm going to show you where it is. It's called Power Pivot. And what Power Pivot does is it allows you to pull data from multiple data sources. It could be Excel, it could be multiple files in Excel, it can be a Word file, like a table in a Word file. It can also be an Access database or some other kind of database table. And you can pull the information together in Excel and then basically run pivot tables on that information. Also, you're able to calculate formulas and create reports. So first, let's find out where this is.
Okay.
Add-ins are found in Backstage View. So we're going to click on File, and we're going to come down here to the Options choice. And you'll notice in your options, there is an item called Add-ins. So I click on Add-ins, and you'll notice that you have a category that says Active Application Add-ins and Inactive Application Add-ins. So if I have any add-ins that have already been added, they'd be listed up here. We don't have any up there. Below here, you have the inactive ones, the ones that have not been added. Now, I'm seeing Power Pivot right here, but sometimes you're going to come into this screen and not see that. So let me show you where you can find it. Down below, I have Manage Excel Add-ins. And if I click on the drop-down, what I want is COM add-ins. And COM add-ins extend the functionality of Excel. So Power Pivot's one of those, and I'll click on Go. And these are the types of COM add-ins that we have available. And notice there is Power Pivot. So I'll click on Power Pivot and click OK. Now you might not have noticed, but something did change.
I see that we have a new contextual tab at the top.
Okay, our ribbon has a tab called Power Pivot. This tab will remain there from now on. So it doesn't matter if you have something selected or not, it's going to show up on your ribbon. Any file you open up, Power Pivot's going to be there. So let me click on the Power Pivot tab again, and you have a few items on your ribbon here. We have Manage. This is going to allow me to open the Power Pivot window, and that's where we would load in the data from the various sources. You have Measures, which will allow you to measure the data. KPIs, if you're familiar with that term, that tends to be key process indicators. Add to data model. If I need to add a table to this, I can do that. Detect is in the relationships area. And we'll be talking about relationships in another module, but this is where I can look for existing relationships. Excel might recognize them for me. And then we have just basic settings. So just so we can get a look at this, I'm going to click on Manage, and it opens up another window for me, and it's called the Power Pivot for Excel window. And this is where I would bring in my data, where I would create relationships between my data. You have the Home tab. You also have a Design tab that gets into creating and managing those relationships, and an Advanced tab that looks at measurement and some calculations and so forth. So several things there. Now, one other thing I want to share with you is you might even want to use Power Pivot in some of your regular Excel databases. You don't have to use it just because you've got different tables. Why you might do that? Excel can manage calculations and processing information for about 1 million rows. With Power Pivot, you can actually manage millions of rows in the amount of time that you would typically process information in thousands of rows. So it kind of gives your processing of data an oomph, to say the least. Now that we've enabled Power Pivot within Excel, in the next module, we'll pull up your files and look at how we can use Power Pivot to analyze that data.
Okay, that sounds great, and I can't wait to do it.